Trailers are a special thing. We all have certain ones that are close to us and have gotten us hyped, but trailers for Assassin's Creed are well known for being some of the best in the entire gaming industry. Specifically, the cinematic trailers. Whether you're an old fan or a new fan of the series, you'll probably have memories of rewatching certain trailers over and over and over again. I know this might seem a bit niche, but I felt like straying away from my usual AC content to talk about these trailers and not only why they're so important, but in a sense, why they're so magical. The Assassin's Creed 1 cinematic trailer from E3 2006 is amazing. I was 2 at the time, so I obviously didn't see it when it came out, but I can't imagine what it would have been like to see this for the first time, to see a game set in a time and place virtually untouched upon in video games, playing as this assassin that the world is against. It must have been incredible. Even watching this trailer 14 years after it came out, I still get goosebumps. It feels quintessentially Assassin's Creed. Being a blade in the crowd, assassinating targets, parkouring through a dense city, and even things we take for granted, at least until a few years ago, like the iconic robes and hidden blade. It feels far more Assassin's Creed than pretty much anything we've gotten in the last few years, and it's a perfect representation of not just AC1, but the core elements of the series, and to achieve that much while making a trailer that's compelling in itself and one that stands on its own 2 feet 14 years later is incredible. It might not be the best looking by today's standards, it's a little rough around the edges, but I still find this trailer charming in a sense. It's Assassin's Creed being itself, which was a given, I suppose, considering it was the first game in the series, but the fact that I still come back to it and it's still so impactful and it isn't just nostalgia means so much to me. That this thing isn't just a thing made to sell a product, it's more than that. It's something special, it's something that's its own thing outside of the product, and that's what I love about so many of these trailers. The trailer for Assassin's Creed 2 is very different to its predecessor. It's almost twice the length of the original, and although the original had something of a story, this one has more of a plot to it. It's made only to serve the trailer and isn't canon, except Cassandra sees a few frames from the trailer in Odyssey, you know, when she touches the pyramid, so it is canon. In that case, who's this? Wait, so if all the cinematic trailers are canon, why does Ezio fight Cesare and it's just never mentioned? Like, they use those exact... Who's this? Okay, you know what, trying to make heads or tails of Odyssey lore in 2020 is fighting a battle that was lost in its very conception phase. Anyway, we have a basic story that shouldn't be canon as it wasn't meant to be, it probably isn't. But anyway, we see Ezio hunt down these 2 targets, and man, this trailer is still stunning, even 11 years on. Seeing Venice during the carnival, seeing the colour and vibrance of the city accompanied by Jesper Kid's perfect score, it's just mesmerising. Ezio takes out 1 target by using a courtesan as a distraction and assassinating them with his hidden blade. A fight ensues where Ezio is cool and calculated, and he chases the main target of the cinematic using parkour, running from rooftop to rooftop. Once again, you have what every cinematic should have: social stealth, assassinations, and parkour. Not only does it hint towards the main gameplay of the series, but also its themes and the feeling of Assassin's Creed 2 and its world. Seeing this mysterious man who kills with elegance and moves just as gracefully, even when under pressure, is what gives you that feeling of Assassin's Creed, because that's ultimately a part of the series' identity. Anyway, Ezio catches up to the target and assassinates him with the hidden gun. I'd say I prefer the AC1 trailer just a little, as it's more to the point, I suppose, but in a lot of ways this cinematic reflects what AC2 was to AC1, a long list of improvements as well as having additions of its own. The Assassin's Creed Brotherhood trailer is notable for being the first cinematic to have a literal trailer paired with it, therefore being the first important one. I really should have just started here, shouldn't I? Anyway, this one is preferred by most fans to the previous 2, as it's far more epic than those. There's no other word for it, really. We start by getting a look at our new setting, Rome, and see Rodrigo Borgia riding towards the Pantheon, and the camera zooms in on a new villain, Cesare. We then see Ezio in the shadows walking towards their carriage, and any guards that oppose him are taken out mysteriously. I really like this. Ubisoft knew they had a hit and didn't need an explosive, fast-paced trailer to get people's attention. They already had it. We wanted to see Ezio, and the build up to getting to see him is really well done. Anyway, Ezio faces Cesare and is surrounded. Those guards are then shot down as Ezio cuts down 2 more in style. And then, just as Cesare assembles the papal guards, 4 assassins come to Ezio's side and the trailer transitions before the 2 groups fight. I love how the Brotherhood system was introduced here, and generally having gameplay mechanics sort of teased in the trailers was really really nice, as it wasn't just spectacle because these were things you could do, albeit in a less flashy way. I really like this one. It isn't as Assassin's Creed as the other two necessarily, but you have Ezio sneaking through a crowd, a brotherhood of assassins, as well as your investment in Ezio, so it didn't have to prove itself, so to speak, but it does anyway. So this is the one you were probably waiting for. This is my favourite trailer ever, and I know so many of you guys hold this in the same esteem. I still remember watching this so many times. That investment I mentioned Ubisoft had with Brotherhood is pretty much doubled here. Ezio is now an older man, a matured one, travelling to Masyaf. I love the presentation of this. It feels the most cinematic of the cinematic trailers. The trailer cuts through flashbacks of Ezio travelling, and it's not like the others where the trailer takes place over a short amount of time. It makes this one feel momentous and special, which as a finale to Ezio's story, it should do. Anyway, he arrives outside Masyaf when he's shot by Leandros and his army come over the hill, and the way the music swells here as Ezio pulls out the arrow is amazing. A battle ensues against Leandros' army, and man, I love this so much. Everything from the music to Ezio's prowess, the flick of his hidden blades, it feels so epic and gives that feeling of finality that puts you on the edge of your seat, and then it's fucking Altair. Even after watching this and playing Revelations God knows how many times, this moment, seeing these two legendary assassins in the same trailer, still gives me goosebumps. The fact this wasn't just Ezio's finale but Altair's too, it made it feel like everything mattered and everything would be paid off, as things were back in 2011. Ezio gets captured and is about to be hanged from the same ledge Altair did a leap of faith from in Robert the Saab's attack. We get a good look at him in the new game, he attacks Leandros, and it ends. This trailer doesn't have the parkour or social stealth of the others, but it doesn't need it. It's Ezio's final game and it needs to deliver the finality of that, and it does that through amazing spectacle. Well, this is probably the best cinematic trailer Ubisoft have ever done. I also think it was a good choice actually having this one happen and lead into the main game, just with the letter to Claudia being the introduction in the actual game. There's not much more I have to say really. It's a perfect trailer, and as an Assassin's Creed fan, you know that, and it's still perfect nearing a decade after its release. The Assassin's Creed 3 cinematic trailer, the main one, is where things start to slip. It was obviously going for scale, and the fact you couldn't get through YouTube in 2012, without coming across a dubstep cover of the trailer is sort of a testament to its epicness. This one isn't like Revelations where you have a character there's a lot of investment in and you can use that, because Connor is a new character. They don't have to show you traits or who he is or anything, but what they needed to do is show you why this new Assassin's Creed is worth your time and money. And to be honest, the trailer doesn't succeed at that. You don't get social stealth, parkour, cities or anything like that, just an epic battle that was pulled out of an HBO period drama, but without the emotion or investment Revelations had, and it ends up feeling far more like an action movie trailer than an Assassin's Creed one. You get a bit of action and that's it really. In 2012 we were all far more trusting of Ubisoft and they were yet to slip up in regards to AC, so we were all buying the game anyway. But as I say, I like for the trailers to stand on their own as a good piece of Assassin's Creed content almost. This one is the first that doesn't really do that. I'd say the AC4 trailer is a tiny bit better than 3's in that you see Edward being at least a bit inconspicuous before the fight breaks out, and he has the style of an assassin and you even see use of the hidden blade. The rest of it doesn't do too much for me in hindsight though. We see a naval battle, which is fair enough as it represents one of the most important features in the game. Anyway, Edward boards, gets a cool use out of his hidden blade, and then we get a bit of mystery when the blood vial is revealed. Better than AC3's trailer, as you can see it is more than just a historical action film if you looked hard enough, but on the whole, it's not the best.
My redemption is found in ashes.
Rogue Cinematic isn't really like the others as it's very minimalistic and doesn't have the scale of the others, and it feels sort of like a side cinematic trailer like 3 and Unity had, but I actually like this trailer. I think it's better than the last 2 even. The monologue introduces the game's themes well and it feels sinister, and there's not really too much to say about it. It's simple but effective. Seeing Shay shoot down a wounded assassin is a really striking image considering what we'd had before it, and it captures your interest. It's a smaller trailer for a smaller game that serves its purpose quite well. Assassin's Creed Unity's cinematic is actually one of my favourites. I still have Lord's cover of Everybody Wants to Rule the World ingrained in my head. It's beautiful and a great choice for this trailer. The trailer starts with us flying over France, seeing the Notre Dame, and then flying through the streets where the Bastille is visible, and below disgruntled revolutionaries. You get such a great feeling for Paris and its character as a city, and something that's an issue with every trailer from here is they focus too much on the setting, not establishing the AC elements of the game very well, but this strikes a balance of doing both brilliantly. As we get a clear idea of our target, 4 assassins emerge from smoke on a rooftop in a really cool moment. As the courtyard is sieged, we see parkour, the brotherhood of these assassins, and then, because it's AC Unity, a smoke bomb attack. The assassins leave the target to be killed by the people, and we see our 4 assassins once more, and the trailer ends. This trailer is the best cinematic we've gotten since Revelations. You've got a fight against injustice, stealth, rooftops, new weapons, a great introduction to Unity's co-op, one of the defining features of the game, the assassins moving with the people, a great introduction to the setting, and above all, the theme of Unity. It felt like the future of Assassin's Creed, and as many people have pointed out, Unity still feels like the most next-gen AC we've gotten, and the trailer complements that. It was a time when the brand still meant something, and Ubisoft thought it was worth marketing as such. I love everything about this trailer, and I feel it's the last great Assassin's Creed cinematic. Syndicate's trailer isn't too good, if I'm honest with you. You get a good feeling for London, which is nice, but everything else is quite poor. Jacob and his gang go about the city fighting people. There's a bit of stealth, that's cool, but most of it isn't really AC. You get the fucking hilarious image of Jacob swapping out his top hat for his hood, which is needlessly goofy and a brilliant metaphor for the game. Then the rest of it is carriage chases, grappling hooks, and a bar fight with the Rooks and the Blighters. Evie isn't even a part of the trailer, but I'd be lying if I said you didn't get a feeling for the game. But the game itself was a poor AC, and so the trailer, by extension, is a poor Assassin's Creed trailer. So the next trailer is for Origins, which I still like, but I don't really love it like I used to, though. The trailer has a huge focus on getting you introduced to Egypt, which is good, and it introduces you to this very different setting quite well, but it takes up most of the trailer, and there's not much Assassin's Creed iconography or just general elements in it. The imagery is really cool, and Leonard Cohen works surprisingly well for AC. You Want It Darker fits quite well thematically, but towards the 2-minute mark, we get this moment. This still feels epic. I really need to stop saying that word, but it does it? That is the only word that describes this. After a year and a half of hype for this game that was touted as the thing that would revive Assassin's Creed, seeing Bayek like this was really cool. We'd seen him before, but getting to see him properly in a cinematic trailer in such a cool reveal was really nice. The fight was always pretty cool, and seeing the hidden blade and Senu fly away with the snake was nice too. There's no social stealth or parkour or very much to do with AC here, and I feel the love for the trailer, and not gonna lie, to an extent, Origins was contextual. Syndicate was bad, and we were all hyped for this knowing Ash was making it, adapting a very cool setting. He had an advantage here, and it would be really shocking if they made something considered a bad trailer. I still like this, just not as much as I used to. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey didn't get a cinematic trailer. Ubisoft didn't need to make one. They weren't marketing a game to Assassin's Creed fans because the game wasn't made for Assassin's Creed fans. The trailers are just angry Spartan man or woman fighting people, making choices, all that kind of stuff. They called these 2 trailers cinematic ones, but they really aren't, so we'll talk about another Odyssey trailer. The Choose Life trailer, which is the worst thing Ubisoft will ever do, and they are currently making post-Brexit hacker game Watch Dogs Legion. Keep that in mind. For a bit of context on this, Trainspotting is one of my favourite films of all time. Stay with me here. I promise this will link together. You might not have heard of the film if you're foreign to the UK, but it's held to incredibly high esteem over here. It's a near perfect film that came out of some of Scotland's best talent in writing and acting, and one of England's best directors. Ubisoft thought they'd make an Odyssey trailer that referenced the film directly, and that's something I don't mind. If a reference is well done and doesn't feel baity, then I can like it. This is kind of the opposite of that. Ubisoft adapted the opening monologue of the film for the trailer, and when I say adapted, they didn't change a thing. So you have this monologue that's about consumerism and 1990s counterculture, and it's juxtaposed with this bizarre live-action Alexios with a video that doesn't fit at all.
It's an electrical tin openers.
So the voice actor will talk about electric tin openers, massive fucking televisions, and it's so bizarre, it doesn't fit at all. It's like Ubisoft suddenly realised they hadn't marketed anything to adults, so they decided to pull the biggest key jangle in history by basically saying, do you remember this film you liked? Well, this has nothing to do with it, but please pretty pleased by it. It would have been so easy to change it into something more relevant, even then I don't think I would have liked it, but as it is, it's so patronising. Anyway, this is a tangent I needed to fit in because I needed a chance to talk about this god-awful trailer we got instead of a cinematic. Anyway, on to Valhalla. So, the latest cinematic trailer we've got is the one for AC Valhalla, which, I'll be honest, I don't really like too much. I had a ton of hype for this following the game and making videos speculating about it. Probably far too many, but I do still think Valhalla is going to be brilliant. I did before the trailer, but the trailer isn't a part of why. It's never been more clear that no matter the game Ash and his team want to make, Ubisoft really don't care about marketing an Assassin's Creed game. You could watch this trailer and just think it's a AAA Viking game and nothing more. There's nothing AC about it, not even robes, besides the blade. And even that was confusing to a ton of us because it was on the wrong side, at least before Ash explained it, and it feels just devoid of the identity, revelations, and unities trailers had. I feel this is a good one to end on because it so clearly signals that Ubisoft are done marketing Assassin's Creed as Assassin's Creed. The real legwork for the hype around this was the brilliant team behind it, as well as their interviews, which revealed some very cool features. For a cool Viking game, it's a pretty good trailer, but for Assassin's Creed, it's quite bad, especially coming off the back of Odyssey and needing to win so many fans back, fans that aren't going to read the interviews, fans that don't know the meaning of names like Ashraf Ismail, Darby McDevitt, and Jesper Kidd. It misses the mark really, and I find that a shame because Valhalla in a lot of ways is far more of an Assassin's Creed game than Odyssey, Origins, or even Syndicate, just from what we know so far. I wish it was better, but I know the game is going to be great anyway, and it'll have a place in my heart purely for being the reveal of the game that kicks off my channel, and I'm sure it'll be one that I love. So it's pretty clear by now that I adore a good cinematic trailer. It's something that's so special to Assassin's Creed, and if you don't have memories of you and the lads belting out a literal trailer, or maybe a Smosh parody on the playground back in the day, you're probably not a real Assassin's Creed fan, let's be honest. Anyway, I hope that has gotten across what I am trying to say. I was quite disappointed in Valhalla's trailer because, although I know the game is going to be good, I feel a good Assassin's Creed cinematic is a part of the series' identity, and something that's so special to this series. The fact that so many of us find ourselves coming back to the trailers for years old games speak to just how impactful these were, and I hope more than anything Ubisoft sort these out come the reveal of the next gen game, but that's a year away from now. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Uploads have been really slow and I am sorry about that. I've just been busy, and if I made something a little shorter like one of my usual top 5s, this probably would have been out yesterday or maybe the day before, but I found myself thinking about these and I just wanted to chat about them. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, maybe leave a like, and if you didn't, let me know why. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.